Adolf Hitler is one of the most famous men in history. He is famous for very bad reasons. He started World War II. He killed millions of people. To understand the world today, we must understand his life. His story begins in a small town. The town is called Braunau am Inn. It is in the country of Austria. On April 20th, 1889, Adolf Hitler was born there. His family was not rich. His father was named Alois. He worked for the government. Alois was a strict and serious man. He often became angry, even for small things. Adolf was afraid of him. His mother was named Clara. She was very different. She was kind and soft. She loved Adolf very much. Adolf loved his mother too, but he did not like his father. Alois wanted Adolf to work for the government too. Adolf did not want this. Adolf wanted to be an artist. He liked to draw pictures. This made his father angry. They fought many times. Adolf went to school. At first, he was a good student. But later, he stopped trying. He did not like his teachers. He only liked history and art. He had trouble with other students. He wanted to be the leader of his friends. If they did not listen, he was unhappy. When Adolf was a teenager, his father died. Adolf was not very sad. He felt free. Now he could choose his own life. But soon his mother became very sick. She died when Adolf was 18 years old. This was a terrible time for him. He cried for days. He was now alone in the world. Adolf decided to go to a big city. He moved to Vienna. Vienna is the capital of Austria. It was a beautiful city with many buildings and art. Adolf wanted to join the Academy of Fine Arts. This was a special school for artists. He showed them his drawings. The teachers looked at his work. They said no. They said he was not good enough. Adolf was shocked. He did not know what to do. He stayed in Vienna, but he had no money. He did not want to work a normal job. He slept on the streets. Sometimes he slept in shelters for poor people. He ate cheap food. He painted small postcards to sell to tourists. He lived this way for a few years. Life in Vienna was hard. Adolf saw many different people there. He started to hate people who were different from him. He read cheap newspapers. These papers said bad things about other groups. They said bad things about Jewish people. Adolf started to believe these lies. He thought Jewish people were the reason for his problems. This hate grew in his heart. In 1913, he left Vienna. He moved to Munich. Munich is a city in Germany. Adolf loved Germany. He thought it was a strong and great country. In 1914, a big event happened. The First World War started. This was a huge war between many countries. Adolf was happy about the war. He wanted to fight for Germany. He joined the German army. He was a soldier. He ran messages between groups of soldiers. This was a dangerous job. He was very brave. He won medals for his bravery. One medal was the Iron Cross. This was a high honor. Adolf liked the army. For the first time, he felt he had a purpose. He had a job to do. But the war ended badly for Germany. In 1918, Germany lost. Adolf was in a hospital. He was hurt by gas in his eyes. He could not see for a few days. While he was in the hospital, he heard the news. Germany surrendered. The war was over. Adolf was very angry. He cried. He did not believe Germany lost on the battlefield. He thought politicians at home betrayed the army. He called them criminals. He was full of rage. After the war, Germany was in trouble. The country was very poor. They had to pay a lot of money to the winners of the war. This made life hard for German people. There were no jobs. Bread was very expensive. People were hungry and angry. Adolf went back to Munich. He stayed in the army for a short time. His job was to spy on small political groups. One night, he went to a meeting of a small group. It was called the German Workers' Party. He listened to them. He liked their ideas. They talked about a strong Germany. They hated the peace treaty. Adolf stood up and spoke. He spoke very well. The people listened. He joined the party. Soon, he became the leader. He changed the name of the party. It became the Nazi Party. Adolf discovered a talent. He was a great speaker. He could make people feel strong. He spoke in beer halls. These were big places where people drank beer. Hundreds of people came to hear him. He yelled and used his hands. He told them their problems were not their fault. He blamed the government. He blamed Jewish people. He promised to make Germany great again. He designed a flag for the party. It was red with a black swastika. People started to follow him. In 1923, Adolf tried to take power by force. He tried to take over the government in Munich. This event is called the Beer Hall Putsch. But it failed. The police stopped him. People were killed. Adolf was arrested. He went to prison. The judges were nice to him. He only stayed in prison for 9 months. In prison, he had an easy life. He had time to think. He wrote a book. The book is called Mein Kampf. This means My Struggle in English. In the book, he wrote about his life. He wrote about his hate for Jewish people. He wrote that Germany needed more land. He said Germans were a master race. This meant they were better than everyone else. When he came out of prison, nobody cared about him. The country was doing a little better. People had money again. They did not need his angry speeches. The Nazi Party was small. But in 1929, the world changed. A big economic crash happened. It was called the Great Depression. Banks closed. Money was lost. Millions of people in Germany lost their jobs. They were hungry again. They were scared. They looked for a savior. Adolf Hitler was ready. He traveled all over Germany. He used airplanes to visit many cities. This was new and modern. He spoke to thousands of people. He said, "I will give you bread and work." He said, "I will tear up the peace treaty." The people cheered. They voted for his party. The Nazi Party became the biggest party in the government. The leaders of Germany did not like Hitler, but they thought they could control him. In January 1933, they made him chancellor. A chancellor is like the head of the government. This was a huge mistake. Adolf moved fast. He did not want democracy. He wanted total power. A building called the Reichstag caught fire. The Reichstag was where the government met. Adolf said his enemies did it. He used this fire to change the laws. He took away freedom. People could not speak against him. Newspapers could only print what he wanted. He put his enemies in prison. He created a secret police called the Gestapo. The Gestapo wore plain clothes. They listened to everyone. People were afraid to talk in their own homes. Adolf became the Führer. This means leader. Now he was the dictator of Germany. At first, some things looked good. Adolf built big roads called autobahns. He built factories. People had jobs again. He built a strong army. He made tanks and airplanes. This was against the rules of the peace treaty. But the other countries did nothing. They were afraid of another war. Adolf saw they were afraid. He wanted more land. In 1938, he sent his army into Austria. The people in Austria cheered. They became part of Germany. Then he wanted part of Czechoslovakia. The leaders of Britain and France met with him. They said, "You can have this land, but no more." Adolf signed a paper. He promised peace. But he lied. A few months later, he took the rest of the country. Adolf hated Jewish people more than anything. He made terrible laws against them. These were called the Nuremberg Laws. Jewish people lost their citizenship. They could not marry Germans. They could not work in many jobs. In 1938, there was a night of violence. It is called Kristallnacht. Nazis broke the windows of Jewish shops. They burned synagogues. Synagogues are churches for Jewish people. They beat people in the street. Many Jewish people tried to leave Germany, but other countries did not want them. They were trapped. In 1939, Adolf looked at Poland. He wanted Poland too. Britain and France said, "If you attack Poland, we will fight." Adolf did not believe them. On September 1st, 1939, he sent his army into Poland. His army was very fast and strong. They used a new way of fighting. It was called blitzkrieg. This means lightning war. Tanks and planes attacked together. Poland fell in a few weeks. But this time, Britain and France declared war. World War II had started. In 1940, Adolf attacked the West. He attacked Denmark and Norway. Then he attacked Holland and Belgium. Finally, he attacked France. Everyone thought France was strong, but the German army defeated France in just 6 weeks. It was a shock to the world. Adolf visited Paris. He took a picture near the Eiffel Tower. He felt like the king of Europe. Only Great Britain was left. Adolf tried to defeat Britain with airplanes. He bombed London and other cities. But the British people were brave. They did not give up. Adolf could not cross the sea. So he made a new plan. He looked east. He hated the Soviet Union. He hated their ideas. He wanted their land for German farmers. In June 1941, he made his biggest mistake. He attacked the Soviet Union. At first, his army won many battles. They went deep into Russia. But Russia is very big, and the winter in Russia is very cold. The German soldiers did not have warm clothes. The oil in the tanks froze. The Russian people fought hard to save their country. While the war was happening, Adolf did his worst crime. He wanted to kill all Jewish people in Europe. He called this the final solution. He built special camps. These were like prisons, but much worse. They were death camps. He used trains to send Jewish people there from all over Europe. Families were separated. Old people, women, and children were killed with gas. It was a factory of death. This is called the Holocaust. 6 million Jewish people were murdered. Many other people were killed too, like Roma people and sick people. Adolf did not talk about this in public. He hid the crime. But it was the most terrible thing in history. By 1943, the war turned against Adolf. The United States had joined the war. The Americans and British were strong. In Russia, the German army lost a huge battle at a city called Stalingrad. They lost an entire army. The Russians started to push the Germans back. Adolf became sick and nervous. He took many medicines. He did not listen to his generals. He told his soldiers never to retreat. He said they must fight to the death. This caused many more men to die for no reason. In 1944, the Americans and British landed in France. This day is called D-Day. They fought their way toward Germany. The Russians came from the other side. Germany was being squeezed. Cities in Germany were bombed day and night. Berlin, the capital, was a pile of rocks. Adolf hid in a bunker. The bunker was deep under the ground in Berlin. He did not see the sun. He looked at maps. He moved imaginary armies that did not exist. He screamed at his friends. He said everyone betrayed him. In April 1945, the Russian army was in Berlin. They were very close to the bunker. Adolf knew the end was near. He did not want to be caught. He married his girlfriend, Eva Braun. The next day, on April 30th, 1945, they killed themselves. Adolf shot himself. His helpers burned his body outside. A few days later, Germany surrendered. The war in Europe was over. Adolf Hitler left behind a broken world. Germany was destroyed. Europe was in ruins. Millions of soldiers were dead. Millions of innocent people were murdered. People were shocked when they saw the camps. They saw the horror of what he did. Adolf Hitler showed the world how dangerous hate can be. He showed what happens when one man has too much power. Today, history books tell his story not to praise him, but to warn us. We remember the past so we do not make the same mistakes again.